Imagine this pen. There's a young woman, bright and ambitious, standing at the threshold of her dream career. But just as she's about to step into what she feels is her life's purpose, everything collapses. The job she was promised is suddenly taken away due to unexpected company downsizing. Devastated and consuming, she's left to ponder her next steps in a dimly lit room, feeling as though her world has crumbled. Now, why do I start a conversation with this story? Because like her, many of us have faced moments when our expected path in life suddenly drops out from under us. We've all had times when we've fallen, when the plans and dreams we've pieced together have unraveled right before our eyes. And yet here we are, gathered together, perhaps wondering, what is the purpose of these falls? What power could possibly be hidden in our failures? Have you ever considered that perhaps we fall so we can learn to pick ourselves back up? Not just to continue where we left off, but to climb higher with more wisdom and strength than before. How many of you have found yourselves, after a fall, in a place better than where you originally aimed to be? How many have discovered new passions, new pathways, and new parts of yourselves in the aftermath of what seemed, at the time, like a devastating loss? This is the essence of what I want to explore today. Every fall, every failure carries a seed of growth and rebirth, if only we are willing to look for it. As we navigate through these stories and ideas, think about your own experiences. What have your falls taught you? How have you used these lessons to propel yourself forward, perhaps in directions you never initially considered? Let's reflect on these questions together. Let's talk about the science of our reactions to falling and how we can consciously change those reactions to not only recover, but to thrive. Today we dive into the power of our perspective, the resilience of the human spirit, and the profound growth that comes from what initially appears as failure. Together, we'll uncover how these moments of falling are not just stumbling blocks, but are, in fact, launching pads to our greatest successes. Remember the young woman from our story. She used her fall as a catalyst for a new vision for her life. Her story did not end with that job loss. In fact, it was just beginning. And like her, each of us has the potential to transform our lowest points into the foundations of a new and brighter path. In the unfolding narrative of our lives, each of us encounters what I like to call moments of falling. These are the instances where things don't go as planned, where we miss a step, lose our balance, and find ourselves facing the ground. In personal growth and transformation, falling isn't just about failing or losing. It's about the interruption of our familiar patterns, the breaking of our comfortable expectations. It's these moments that challenge us to find new ways to rise, to evolve, and to expand beyond our previous boundaries. Consider for a moment the universal nature of challenges. No human walks this earth without experiencing their share of falls. It's a shared part of our human journey, woven into the very fabric of our existence. These challenges are not merely obstacles in our path. They are integral to the path itself. They shape us, mold us, and refine us into fuller versions of ourselves. Let me share a story with you. There was once a young man who aspired to become a great writer. He spent years crafting his first book, pouring his heart and soul into every page, only to face repeated rejections from publishers. Each rejection was a fall, a moment where his dreams and efforts seemed to hit the ground. But instead of letting these rejections define his limits, he used them to push his boundaries. He refined his writing, deepened his narratives, and honed his craft. Eventually, his books were published and widely celebrated. What seemed initially like a series of defeats were actually stepping stones leading him to greater awareness and strength. This brings us to a fascinating concept in personal development. The idea of learning through contrast. It's a simple yet profound principle. We often come to understand what we truly want by experiencing what we don't want. Without darkness, how would we recognize the light? Without the bitter, how would we appreciate the sweet? Each fall, each setback provides contrast, deepening our understanding of our desires, sharpening our sense of direction. Now think about a time in your own life when a fall brought unexpected benefits. Perhaps a lost job led you to a more fulfilling career, or a failed relationship taught you what you really needed from a partner. In these moments of contrast, didn't you find aspects of yourself and your life that you wanted to change or improve? Didn't these insights, though born from struggle, illuminate your path with newfound clarity and purpose? I encourage you to embrace these falls, not as endings, but as beginnings. Beginnings of new understandings, new opportunities, and new paths to explore. The next time you find yourself facing the ground, remember, you are being offered a chance to rise not just back to where you were, but to go even higher. This is the nature of falling. It is not the universe conspiring against us, but for us, pushing us toward our ultimate becoming. Let us transform our perspective on falling from one of fear and disappointment to one of curiosity and growth. Every fall has something to teach us, and every lesson is a step forward on our journey to becoming more than we were. As we delve deeper into our discussion about transformation and growth, let's explore the fascinating workings of our brains, particularly how they process the experiences of failure and setback. Understanding this is crucial because it allows us to shift our reactions from automatic responses to conscious choices, empowering us to better manage challenges and change the course of our lives. When we face a setback or failure, our brain's initial reaction is often dictated by primal survival instincts. This is what's commonly known as the fight or flight response. In these moments, our brain isn't concerned with long-term growth. It's focused on immediate survival. Chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol flood our system, sharpening our reflexes but narrowing our perspective. This biological response is useful in actual life-threatening situations. But when it comes to modern-day challenges like a job loss or a personal setback, this response can limit our ability to see the bigger picture and make rational, growth-oriented decisions. Have you ever noticed how a single negative event can sometimes feel overwhelming? That's our fight or flight response in action, magnifying threats and often causing us to react in ways that might not serve our best interests in the long run. The good news, however, is that this is not a fixed process. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, capable of being rewired through what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity. This means we can train our brain to respond differently to the same stimuli by consciously changing our thoughts and emotions. Consider this. Each time you choose to focus on what you can learn from a failure rather than on the failure itself, you are rewiring your brain. You are building new neural pathways that will make it easier to handle future setbacks more constructively. This doesn't just help you cope. It fundamentally changes how you experience life's ups and downs. Now, how can we start to make these changes? Let's begin with a simple but powerful technique known as the breath. This meditation practice helps to calm the mind and center our thoughts, particularly during times of stress. Here's how you can do it. 1. Sit comfortably in a quiet space. 2. Close your eyes and take a deep, slow breath through your nose, allowing your stomach to expand as you fill your lungs with air. 3. Hold the breath for a moment. 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth, letting the air out completely and feel your body relax. 5. Repeat this process for a few minutes, focusing solely on your breathing. Practicing the breath meditation daily, even for just a few minutes, can profoundly impact how your brain handles stress and setbacks. It's not just about relaxation. It's about creating a state of inner peace and clarity that can help you face any challenge more effectively. Let's think about this for a moment. When was the last time you felt overwhelmed by a setback? How did you react? Now imagine handling the same situation, but with a calm, clear mind, fully in control of your emotions. How might the outcome differ? By integrating practices like the breath into our daily lives, we are not just reacting to changes and challenges. We are actively shaping our brain's responses to them, empowering ourselves to rise above the immediate impulses of fight or flight. This is how we transform not only our minds, but our lives as well. Remember that each moment of difficulty is also a moment of opportunity, an opportunity to choose, to change, and to grow. With these tools and understandings, we can face our falls not with fear, but with courage, clarity, and a readiness to transform them into stepping stones towards greater resilience and success. We have explored how our brains react to setbacks and how we can actively rewire our responses. Now, let's dive deeper into the profound role our belief systems play in shaping our reactions to what we often label as failures. Our belief systems are like lenses through which we view the world. They influence how we interpret events, how we react to challenges, and ultimately, how we perceive our own capabilities. These beliefs can determine whether we see a failure as a catastrophe or an opportunity for learning and growth. Many of us grew up with certain myths about failure. That it is something to be avoided at all costs, that it defines us, that it is an end rather than a beginning. These misconceptions can lead to fear and avoidance, causing us to miss out on valuable experiences and growth. But what if we could shift that perspective? What if we started viewing each fall not as a confirmation of our inadequacies, but as a critical part of learning? Imagine a child learning to walk. Each stumble, each fall brings them closer to mastering balance and coordination. They don't fear their falls, they learn from them, and they keep pushing forward with curiosity and determination. This is the mindset we need to adopt. Rather than fearing failure, we can become curious about what each experience has to teach us. Every setback is ripe with potential lessons that can propel us toward our goals if only we're open to learning them. Now, let's put this into practice with a guided visualization exercise I call changing boxes. This will help us shift our perspective from one box where failure is feared and avoided to another box where failure is seen as a source of insight and growth. Please close your eyes, take a deep breath, using the breath technique we discussed earlier, and imagine yourself standing in front of two large boxes. In the first box, label it with your current feelings about failure, perhaps fear, avoidance, or shame. See yourself stepping into this box and look around. Notice how cramped and dark it feels, how it limits your movement and vision. Now step out of that box, take another deep breath, and as you exhale, visualize yourself stepping into another box. The second box is labeled with words like learning, growth, and opportunity. Feel the space around you expand. Notice how much lighter and brighter it feels. In this box, every failure sheds light on new paths, new methods, and new possibilities. In this box, you are free to explore, experiment, and evolve without the burden of fear. Every fall is merely a lesson, a stepping stone that brings you closer to your highest potential. You can open your eyes now. This exercise, changing boxes, is a powerful tool you can use anytime you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of fear and avoidance. It reminds us that we have the power to choose our perspective, to change the boxes we live in. Remember that our failures are not stumbling blocks, but stepping stones. They do not define us. They refine us. By transforming our perspective on failure, we open ourselves up to a world of potential and progress that fear would otherwise obscure. So let us embrace this new perspective. Let us replace fear with curiosity, and let us move forward with the courage to learn from every experience. This is how we transform our lives. This is how we turn what seems like the end into a brand new beginning. Building resilience is not just about bouncing back from setbacks. It's about growing through them, learning to navigate the storms of life with grace and strength. Let's discuss how we can develop this invaluable trait and use it to foster personal and professional growth. First, let's talk about the importance of mental and emotional flexibility. Being flexible means being able to adapt to changing circumstances without breaking. It involves a willingness to let go of old ways of thinking and embracing new perspectives. Flexibility is crucial because it allows us to navigate through life's ups and downs without losing our balance. So how do we cultivate this flexibility? It starts with awareness. Being mindful of our thoughts, our reactions, and how we interpret our experiences. When faced with a setback, ask yourself, what is another way to look at this situation? What can I learn from this? By training ourselves to think this way, we transform our experiences from fixed disasters into fluid opportunities for growth. Now let's delve into practical steps to build resilience. 1. Develop a support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and push you to be your best. These relationships provide comfort and perspective when you're going through tough times. 2. Set a realistic goal. Break your larger goals into smaller, manageable steps. Each small achievement will build your confidence and reinforce your ability to handle bigger challenges. 3. Embrace challenges as avoiding challenges. Embrace them as opportunities to grow. Each challenge is a chance to test your limits and expand them. 4. Not to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Understand that falling is part of the learning process. Speak to yourself with compassion and encouragement, just as you would to a close friend. 5. Keep a journal. Reflect on your daily experiences and feelings. Journaling helps you process emotions and gain insights from your experiences, which is crucial for long-term resilience. In addition to these steps, maintaining a growth mindset is key in facing setbacks effectively. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed over time. It leads you to approach challenges with a sense of excitement rather than fear. To cultivate a growth mindset, always look for learning opportunities in your successes and failures alike. Ask yourself, what did I do well and what can I do better next time? To support this mindset, I encourage the practice of mindfulness and meditation. These practices help you remain centered and calm regardless of external circumstances. A particularly effective tool is the BODIC technique, which stands for body, outcome, time, emotion, change. This meditation focuses on visualizing your body in a relaxed state, imagining a positive outcome from your current challenges, considering the time you will need to overcome these challenges, recognizing the emotions you feel about the situation, and envisioning the change you wish to see in yourself. Here's how you can practice botichin. Begin by finding a quiet place where you can sit comfortably without interruptions. And close your eyes and take deep breaths, focusing on relaxing your body part by part. Visualize a specific outcome where you overcome your current challenge. Think about the realistic time frame it will take to achieve this outcome. Notify the emotions you are feeling about this situation and visualize them flowing away with each breath. And finally, imagine the change in your approach or circumstances that will lead to overcoming the challenge. Practicing Botic daily helps not only in reducing stress, but also in reinforcing a growth-oriented approach to life's challenges. By combining these strategies, developing mental and emotional flexibility, practicing resilience-building techniques, maintaining a growth mindset, and engaging in regular mindfulness and meditation, you equip yourself with a toolkit for not just surviving, but thriving through the challenges life throws your way. Remember that resilience is not something we are born with. It is something we build. It's a muscle, strengthened by each challenge we face and each barrier we overcome. So let us move forward with courage, knowing that we are not only capable of handling challenges, but also poised to grow from every experience. Let's not just go through challenges. Let's grow through them. Today, as we weave through the tapestry of resilience and growth, let us draw inspiration from the lives of individuals who have transformed their deepest failures into platforms for unparalleled success. These stories are not just tales of triumph, but powerful lessons in human potential and the relentless spirit of perseverance. Consider the story of a young animator who was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. In turn, he went on to create a cartoon character that would captivate the hearts of millions around the world. This man, Walt Disney, faced numerous bankruptcies and setbacks before he built the empire we know today. His story teaches us about the power of vision and the importance of persistence. If he had given up after his initial failures, the world might never have known the joy of Disney. Then think about a woman who, despite being on government aid, spent her days in a small cafe writing a novel about a young wizard. J.K. Rowling faced rejection after rejection before finally publishing the book that would catapult her into literary stardom. Her journey from living on the edge of poverty to becoming one of the world's leading literary voices is a testament to the power of perseverance and belief in one's own story. And let's not forget the athlete who was cut from his high school basketball team, leading him to go home, lock himself in his room, and this blow to his ego didn't hold him back. Instead, Michael Jordan used it as fuel to work harder, eventually becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time. His career exemplifies how setbacks can be turned into motivational stepping stones towards greater achievements. What do these stories teach us? They show us that within every individual lies an incredible reservoir of potential. Setbacks, failures, rejections. These are not stop signs, but rather signposts pointing us towards different paths to success. Each of these individuals face disappointments. But instead of letting these moments define them, they use them as catalysts to forge new paths. As we reflect on these narratives, I encourage you to think about your own life. What setbacks have you faced? More importantly, how have you responded to them? Have you seen them as endpoints or as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to innovate? Let's shift our perspective on failure. Instead of viewing setbacks as insurmountable barriers, let's see them as challenges to overcome, as chances to demonstrate our resilience and creativity. This shift in perspective is crucial, not just for surviving, but for thriving. How can we apply these lessons in our own lives? Can we see a rejection as a redirection, a failure as a lesson, a setback as a setup for a comeback? This mindset is what separates those who give up from those who get up stronger than ever. Remember that the stories of Disney, Rowling, and Jordan are not unique to them. Within each of us is the potential to create our own story of triumph. No matter the depth of the fall, the height of the rise can be greater if we choose to use our experiences as foundations upon which to build a stronger, more resilient self. Embrace your failures. Learn from them. And allow them to propel you toward your successes. And remember, in every moment of adversity lies an equal or greater opportunity for growth. Let us step forward with this knowledge, ready to transform our challenges into our greatest achievements. Let's not just go through adversity, but grow through it, building a legacy of resilience and success that, like those who have inspired us today, will inspire generations to come. As we conclude our journey today, let's reflect on the essential truths we've explored together. We've delved into the inevitability of falling, the profound power of our perspective, the enlightening science of our responses, and the limitless potential for transformation that lies within each of us. We have seen that falls are not merely mishaps. They are an integral part of the human experience, rich with opportunities for learning and growth. How we respond to these falls, powered by the perspectives we choose and the beliefs we hold, defines the trajectory of our lives. Through understanding the science of our brain's reactions, we've uncovered how we can rewire our responses to embrace resilience over retreat, to choose growth over stagnation. I invite you to embrace a new perspective. View your next fall not just as a setback, but as a profound opportunity for growth. Consider how each challenge can expand your understanding, enhance your abilities, and deepen your empathy. Remember, it is often in our moments of deepest failure that we sow the seeds of our greatest successes. Let us part with a commitment to ourselves and to each other to stand up each time we fall, to learn from every setback, and to move forward with an unyielding spirit of perseverance and optimism. Embrace each challenge with curiosity and courage. And remember that the true measure of our success is not how often we avoid falling, but how often we rise and how much we grow each time we do. I leave you with this thus. Every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Let this wisdom guide you as you continue on your path. Know that within you lies the strength to overcome any obstacle, the resilience to withstand any trial, and the potential to transform every fall into a step upward on your journey. Together, let's move forward with the courage to transform our challenges into our greatest victories. Let's rise from our falls, not only intact but improved, fortified by our experiences and inspired by our own capacity to evolve. This is not just the end of our conversation. It is the beginning of a new chapter in your story of growth and resilience. Thank you for sharing this time with me, for your openness to learning, and for your commitment to becoming more than you were yesterday. Let's continue to grow together.